They hate us because they ain't us. That's right, guys. We got 2 recruits today. The whole college football world's gonna be crashing out about it. You absolutely love it. Okay, 3 stars, yada, yada, yada. Nah, man, we got the 34th best linebacker in the country in the class of 2028. Coach Hart, gonna give you props for this one, man. I love it. Carson Crawford. And we also got a safety, Damonte Timms, coming over to the Buffs. I love it. Guys, we're almost at double-digit commits going into the fall. How about that going into fall camp? I mean, this is the most progress that we've had going into a fall camp, guys. So you know what? I'm gonna put on the Ralphie horns. You know, y'all celebrate with me. Smash that like, subscribe. We're gonna break it all down. Happy campers only. This stream is just gonna be good vibes only, baby. Y'all join the chat. Let's get this thing rolling. Welcome to the Buffs, Carson Crawford and Damonte Timms. Now, before we get into them individually, let's take a look at just how elite our recruiting is looking right now compared to previous years. Let me bring this thing up, and we'll try this one. Yes, that works. Guys, look at this. You know, we were like 103 just last week. Now look at us. 88. 88. Don't tread on me, man. We're 88. We're moving up. And I love to see this. And even though, again, we got 1 4-star according to 24/7, I think that some of these guys are really high quality players. Preston Ashley, of course, is the blue chip guy. I mention that like every time I talk about recruiting. Then, guys, look at this. Who's our second highest rated recruit right now? It is Carson Crawford down in Carthage, Texas. 6'3", 215-pound linebacker that has the speed to go sideline to sideline, that will lay you out like Goldberg's daddy. I can't wait to see him in the black and gold. Love it. We'll continue to move on. Gavin Mueller, tight end. Everybody's really excited about it. I think he is a 4-star on some of these other sites. Xavier Payne, offensive tackle, 6'7", 320, baby. And as my friend Mr. Maurice has said, he is a big-time Power 4 ball player down there in the state of Miami. Damonte Timms now is also committed from Florida. Love to see that. We'll dive into him in a bit, especially because, if I remember correctly, we have some older safeties right now. Colby Johnson, Domata Pecco, and Maurice Williams round out what is now 8. 8. We're almost to 10, guys. We're 2 away. I love to see this. Hats off. Coach Hart, I'm going to give you props for this one, man. I love it. He's a top 40 linebacker in the country, according to 24/7, about, you know, that 50th ranked, 52nd, according to the composite. But this is a linebacker. I'm just going to say it. We got ourselves a top 40 linebacker in the country. And don't be surprised to see his rating continue to go up throughout the season as he balls out for Carthage. State title winner, state champion in the 4A division here in the state of Texas. This is awesome. Yes, he flipped from Texas State, but I got a feeling, guys, that this guy, even if he didn't choose Colorado, I don't feel like he was going to go G5 with the season he had last year. So that's how I feel about it. Love to see this. We'll dive into his highlights here in a bit. And let's get to Damonte Timms. 3-star guy, you know, a little bit more than 6 feet already, 95 pounds. So he already has that great college size. Top 100 safety. You can see 24/7 has him ranked as the 99th rated safety. Composite has him, you know, within that top 100 as well. So we'll see what these players can develop into. You might say, "Oh, Dave, you know, they're 3-star guys." I do not care. I do not care. These guys are committing to be Buffaloes. Of course, things could change, but I think the majority of these guys will stay Buffs by the time mid-December rolls around. Hopefully, a lot of these guys can be in Boulder come January, and I can't wait to see what Coach Prime and the staff does to develop these guys. That's what I'm going to be most interested to see. So it's nice to win a recruit over Louisville. It's been a little while since we've been able to do that. Maybe those NIL checks aren't cashing anymore. You guys know that they were bouncing a little bit ago. So again, guys, we're in the top 90 right now with high school. That's great. If we could get this class to like 20 guys, man, I might have a buffgasm. I would absolutely love it. Interesting. So I'll get to a few of your comments, and as I'm pulling that up, I'm gonna pull up the huddle. We'll start with Damonte Timms because I've spent less time on him, and then we can get into the Carson Crawford highlights. So, well, okay, that's not him. Okay, this is we go on quick cut. Hopefully that's working. Yeah, there we go. Go ahead and get to some of your comments. Northside saying, Dave, I have words. All right, we'll see what you got to say here in a moment. Dave, what's up? I mistakenly called you Russ. Hello, chatters. Hey, we're both white guy buff fans with YouTube, so no worries, man. Hope you're having a great day. I got the Ralphie horns on. I'm pumped up about this. Barrel, what's going on? With the recruits Colorado signing and the elite coaches, Colorado should compete for the Big 12 championship and college football championship. Barrel, that is, that you play to win the game, right? You play to win the game. Now, Brett Yormark made a great case on why he eliminated the preseason polling for the Big 12. He thinks it hurt us going into the college football playoff last year. I agree with him. It's great we're getting rid of that ranking stuff going into the regular season. Anybody from the Big 12 can make a run. That's how I feel about it. Now, I'm not putting money right now on us to win a national championship. Maybe I should if Texas can legalize the sports gambling, right? Maybe I got to find myself a bookie, but anything's possible. And I think that this is the way that I see this season is building towards that. I think we got a lot of promising young guys in this new core. And I'm excited to see what happens. I really am. Now, I got to get to this in another live stream. I think what could help this is if Byron Leftwich and Mike Zimmer are on staff. A little upset that we had, all that announcement about Byron Leftwich, and it seems like all that was kind of done prematurely. I hope he still joins the staff, but when you have NFL insiders tweeting about this, usually that's, they're doing this on good authority, but we never did get an announcement from the school. It's very odd, but I'm hoping he joins. I'm really hoping he joins because I think he would be tremendous for the development of Julian Lewis moving forward. Northside saying Denver radio. Okay. Altitude radio. I think that's 92.5 said something interesting about NIL, what we should do to compete. Okay. Crawford has great potential. Yes, I love Crawford. I put out a little highlight video today on my shorts. So you can check out the shorts section on my profile today. So, man, this is awesome. But Damonte Timms, man, he's a ball player. I like the swagger, the energy, the attitude that he plays with. Think he can kind of cover all over, man. Definitely a guy, at least with what he looks like right now. I mean, looks plenty quick in the slot, which is nice. If you can get a safety that can not only cover deep, but come up in the slot, play the run, as well as defend those quick slants, that's awesome. Gearhead, with the juniors, there's always a chance they hit a growth spurt during their senior year and get a lot bigger before they show up at college. Yes. And I was wanting to point out somebody. Can't remember. Oh, Cardi Smith. It's looking like Cardi Smith already hit that growth spurt by the time summer workouts came around, right? Doesn't he just look like a totally different sized human right now? And Tim's could be 6'1" or 6'2" by early enrollment. Yeah, he's got another year plus before he's coming to college. Maybe he's here in January. That would be awesome. Northside saying though, honestly, skip Leftwich. We need a young, creative OC. Is it finally Brett Bartolone's time to have another crack at play calling? Hasn't play called in since Jackson State last year. There, we'll have to see. But Damonte Timms, man, absolutely pumped to have him here. This was kind of a crystal ball. I felt like that came out of nowhere over the last week, and I think that TJ Branch, he's another guy that I'm pumped with. We could have in the future, a rotation, maybe our top 3 safeties or so. I mean, they all could be from the state of Florida, which is pretty interesting. I think it's awesome. Yeah, Barrow Allen said this linebacker, Carson Crawford's a beast. He definitely will be in the mix to start when he gets to Colorado. I said linebackers. He is safety. He can play both. Right now, we're watching the highlights of Damonte Timms. Sorry, I probably wasn't clear about that. Now we're going to get to Carson Crawford. But, yeah, let me go ahead and pull up those. Oh, hey, how about David Talks Bucks? How about you tune in? Smash a like, right? Let's get to Carson Crawford. And join the chat. But 91 tackles, over 20 tackles for loss, 4A, state of Texas. Love to see it. And he's got some pass rushing chops too. And you'll see, just lays this dude out. It's awesome, man. This is like the stuff you try and do in Madden. He's just hit sticking all these guys. But he does have some pass rushing chops. I've compared him a little bit to Keaton Wade just because I feel like he's got some nice versatility. I don't know if he'll end up being big enough to be like a traditional edge, for Colorado. Maybe if he hits a growth spurt, he could be. But it's always nice to have a guy that can, every now and then he can pass rush from outside. He's going to be able to pass rush from the inside linebacker position, blitz, all that. And I think he's got enough speed to cover. So, I really love bringing him here. Always a fan of bringing Texas players out to play at CU. Definitely, obviously, a fan of the Florida players we've brought in too. So as long as we continue to recruit those states, things are going to be looking fantastic. So I love the fact that we're bringing him here. Can he be our next great linebacker? Can he be our next Nate Landman? He was our star linebacker when I was at school at CU. Nate Landman, he wasn't a fancy, super touted blue chip guy coming out of high school, but just continued to grind. And now he's been in the NFL for how many years? Congratulations to him. So maybe he can be that guy. But Coach Hart, he deserves his props, guys. You might say, Dave, that's ridiculous. We want blue chip guys. Man, I don't care what his star rating is. If we were bringing in a top 40 guy at another position, we'd be very excited about it. And Carson Crawford is a top 40 linebacker in this year's class. That's freaking awesome. 24/7 has him ranked as the 34th best linebacker in the country. Credit to you, Coach Hart. If we could start getting top 40 guys at every single position moving forward out of high school, man, we're going to be cooking. We're going to be cooking with gas. So, Coach Hart, I think this might be his most impressive high school commit thus far. And now we're going to have to see what he can do to develop him. I was bummed we didn't get that guy that ended up going to Cal, right, from BYU. But is this penance? Is this enough for forgiveness? I'll let y'all decide. But good vibes only on this chat for today. Carson Crawford, look at him cover the slot right there. Little zone coverage, showing some hands. Almost got that one-handed interception. I love to see it, man. Love to see it. see what else we got here. Northside saying, I would love for Brent Bartoloni to be the OC QB coach, please. Now, Bartoloni has probably been the coach that's been on the hot seat for me for this past year. I just haven't been like a fan of what we've done at tight end, like recruiting wise, but I think he has made some great gains on that over the last year. Zane D'Souza, I think that he is a year one player. We'll see what happens with Corbin Lejour. Those guys could very well be our best two tight ends this year as true freshmen. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. And really do like, and I am excited about the tight end that we have committed. I'm blanking on his name right now. Just give me a second. Gavin Mueller from South Elgin, Chicagoland area. Yeah, that's going to be great. So now I think he's making progress. Brett Bartoloni is at the tight end position, but I'm kind of with you, man. It's been a few years since Brett Bartoloni's been calling plays. I'm wondering how much he's picked up from Sean Lewis and Pat Shermer, and maybe he'll be ready again. Everybody has always spoken very highly of Brett Bartoloni's recruiting ability. We saw it with some of the wide receivers he was bringing in, right? Although, Jason Phillips arguably has done better, but, that's not shade at Brett Bartoloni. But I wonder, how he would be as a recruiter going for blue chip offensive players as the OC, not just as, the guy overseeing the tight ends. I'm intrigued again at this point. I'm intrigued. Maybe I'm just in a good mood. Northside saying for Prime to beat cost for NIL, he has to recruit local and regional talent that have more upside. We need to replace positions that can't develop and recruit. We need a talent staff. Hopefully we can get TI in the state of Colorado, right? That would be phenomenal, but it would be great to start getting some of these Colorado linemen here. Now, speaking of Colorado linemen, maybe Zane D'Souza just ends up, becoming an offensive tackle. We'll just have to see. Let's take a look at the states, though. Where is this? Recruiter rankings. No, let's see here. Player rankings. I don't come to this very often, because there are some other rivals of us that are beating us out for some of these guys, as we have experienced. Tufanua Ayanatana Umu Kayas, defensive lineman, Cherry Creek. He's been out to a visit, has not committed yet. Feels like we're kind of switching our attention to him. Deacon Schmidt, it sucked not getting him, but it is what it is. Teray Davis out of Fairview, right there in Boulder, Colorado. How are we losing an 89 rated linebacker, man? To UCLA, or athlete, my bad. To UCLA, man. That blows. Camden Jensen. I remember we were recruiting him for a while. Just hasn't worked out. So trip skews. Yeah, man. All these out-of-state schools are coming and getting our guys, man. It would be nice to, if we're going to get one guy, have him be the number one guy in the state, right? Hopefully that's the next guy. That would be really awesome going into fall camp with the number one player in the state committed to CU. Yes. Let's freaking do it. If Coach Hart and Coach Prime can keep the Texas pipeline open, Colorado will remain at the top of the Big 12. I totally agree. Florida, Texas, as long as we recruit really good in these states, we're going to be up there. I believe it. Yeah, that's right. SOB saying, shout out to Coach Hart. Coach Hart cooking today. This might be the best day he's had as a recruiter. This Carson Crawford kid, I think he can play, man. I mean, I think he's a big-time ball player. let's just watch his highlights again, man. They're a lot of fun. I think he can be a big time player for us. 6'4", 205, 6'3", 215, doesn't matter. He's a big guy. TMFB, what's going on? Stevie Davies saying, I'll be honest, these in-state misses are the fault of the reputation that Colorado's garnered pre-prime. I will agree with you, Stevie Davy. We were losing guys to like CSU, right? At different points throughout the last 20 years. So, yeah, although we've made a tremendous amount of progress, there have been other schools outside of CU that have had a better reputation with in-state with Colorado players coming out of high school than CU has. We're making progress. I believe that, but it might be one of the tougher things to change. Ironically, but if we can get Ti, that'd be tremendous. Man, that's a great nickname, Lil Rico Baby TV. Awesome name, by the way. Carson White Tiger Crawford. Yeah, White Tiger. White Lightning. White Tiger. I like it, man. Prime decided to catch up bigly, and Colorado didn't have the horses to keep. Be a hard switch, but possible. Yeah, and I do think that if Prime didn't have these health issues come up over this summer, I think that we could have closed a few more of these. I just think that, I think it's impressive that we've gotten the amount of commits over the last month or so. What have we had? Like 6 or 7 over the last month or so? Without him around. I think that's phenomenal. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you guys can educate me, but I think it's hard to close on guys when the head guy isn't there on these visits. I think it is hard, and the fact that we've gotten a handful of these guys, I think, I want to give credit to the recruiting staff. I know that they've been getting a lot of shade on Twitter, a lot of heat on Twitter. People want 4 stars, people want 5 stars, and I want those guys too. But sometimes, man, you just got to see what's going on. I'm glad Coach Prime's been focusing on his health. I'm glad it seemed like he looked to be in great shape, great spirits, and hopefully whatever was going on, it's not going to be an issue moving forward. So, yeah, let's see what we can do now leading up to fall camp. And then in the season, you guys know that's when we really press on. And I think, again, man, we did not bring Marshall Faulk in. We didn't bring him in not to give these guys the ball. So if we can show that we can run a balanced offense, we can run the ball, that a running back can be developed here, whether that's Michael Welsh or Dallin Hayden. I know I'm forgetting other guys. A guy like DeKalen Taylor can come in as a transfer and be incredibly successful. Yeah. Dude, this guy is a white chocolate. Carson Crawford, definitely a white chocolate. Yes. Yeah, Crawford's a great get, man. Definitely encouraged with this season after listening to Prime yesterday. I was too, man. I was too. He had a great presser. And again, I just think it's so funny. All these college football fans that have never listened to Coach Prime's like real press conferences before, when they take the time to do it, they always come away like very, very impressed. Like a lot of our Big 12 opponents last year, their fans, because Coach Prime's stand up. I loved how complimentary he was of Brett Yormark of the conference right now, and how well he spoke of the other coaches. We compete against them, but as a conference, we're still kind of all in this together, and I think it's going to be the most competitive conference again this year. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, you see people come away yesterday just saying, oh man, like, I like how Coach Prime's always like, he's like hyping up the other coaches, the other programs, all class, but he does it with his flair. He does it with his style. And yeah, I was tremendously impressed, and I'm so happy he's back. And just when someone's not around for a while, you just can't help but get a little nervous, right? So I love that he's back. Man, Dave, looking into 2025 recruiting in Colorado, it's even worse. Yeah, well, we're gonna keep the spirits good on today's stream, but you're right. You're right. Real Coach Prime hasn't been there. Hopefully, this doesn't affect the season. Yeah, and my eyeballs are now going to be watching to see, does he come back to Boulder after Big 12 Media Week? Yeah, yeah. Recruiting should be a lot better moving forward. Again, guys, we're still going to be transfer portal heavy. Coach Prime talked about that, right? That's just the strategy that they have. And right now, with the bumps that we've taken or the improvements that we've made, you can't really knock it, right? Like, you can't really knock it. We'll see what we do this year, but I think generally people have lower expectations for this team, um, without having some of our higher end talent, younger guys coming up. But I do think it's very fair, and this is how I feel about it. I think we have a much deeper, more well-rounded team. Do we have anybody that steps up, to be that high-end talent that we had with Shador and Travis? We'll have to see. Maya, I hope you're doing well. Yeah, July, it's not the busiest month. So just been trying to relax, hang out, start a new job recently. So getting used to that. And but yeah, I'll be back doing a lot of live streams, once fall camp's coming up. I'm gonna be doing a show with Chico and Bird's Eye View pretty regularly. So that should be fun. And then we'll kind of kick up a lot of the live streams as we get into the season, So I appreciate y'all staying patient with me. Man, Jordan Clay out of San Antonio, Texas, where I reside right now, committing tomorrow. 4-star wide receiver. That would be fun. Look at Ismail Kissy. He went to Stanford, now at Arkansas, and he's good. I probably pronounced his name wrong. Take a look here. Wide receiver from Aurora, 5'11". He was a 3-star guy, top 10 guy in Colorado a couple years ago. All right. Cool. Jeremiah Hoffman, that name sounds familiar, but my memory is not the best. Yeah, Cherry Creek guy. Is that Charlotte? Interesting. Yeah, he was a top 10 guy last year. Interesting. So yeah, 6'1". Did we bring him in for a visit? I don't know. He's never there during this time. Usually he's there with when they have big visit weeks, right? Like usually when they plan those. Like he was here when Julian Lewis was here. Wasn't he here in the month of late June, early July? He does take some time off. I think all coaches probably do a little bit during the summer, but I do think he's missed a little bit abnormal amount of time, and that's okay. The most important thing is that he is healthy. The Colorado kids will come to their senses after the season's over. Yes, that's my prayer. We got to pray to the football gods every day. If we can just start getting in state, that will make things a lot easier. Be great. Thank you very much, man. Finally out of the advertising world. It's great. Doing more strategy stuff. That's a lot of fun for me. Best thing for recruiting is to get off to a win streak from game one and start off like 5-0 or 6-0. And we very well could start, like 4-0. Very well. Very well could do that. Wyoming, Delaware. The toughest ones are going to be, is it Houston that we play week 3 to open up conference play? And then week 1, of course, Georgia Tech. They might be the toughest challenge that we have in the first, 4 weeks or so. So if we can beat Georgia Tech, we're definitely capable of starting the season off with a nice run. But just like my friend Rawhide said last year, if we lose the first game or the second game, it's not the end of the world. As we saw, our team got better as the year went on, man. And again, credit to the coaching staff. Usually, like like with Mike McIntyre, he did lead us to a great season in 2016. But when I was at school at CU, my first year in 2018, we started out 5-0 and then finished 0-7, missed a bowl, like embarrassing stuff. Man, that was really, really tough. Then he got fired. The whole Mel Tucker stuff happened. But it's great to finish on a high, aside from the Alamo Bowl, Ralphie 6, under evaluation right now. That's what needs to happen. Probation for Ralphie 6. But we had such a good season, man. It was awesome. 9-4. I believe we ended up being ranked in the top 25 when the season was all done. Yeah, man, it was great. So let's see our team get better from week 1 to week 13 or 14, whatever it is. Hey, TR, appreciate it, man. Appreciate the like. Guys, I'm going to get out of here, man. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to enjoy, some burgers and hot dogs, man. Going to get that going. So y'all have a wonderful evening. Again, please smash the like, subscribe. I'll be back soon to talk about some more recruiting news and maybe give, my 2 cents this weekend on just my main takeaways from Big 12 Media Week, all the guys that were there. Incredibly impressed with Julian Lewis, Jordan C., all the guys. So great seeing that. You guys have a wonderful evening, and Sco Buffs.